Hey, do you guys like my new shirt?
It's not really new, but it's pretty tight. Actually, on me, it's a little loose, to be quite honest. I've been wearing a XL shirt, but this is a 3X. It's a little bit baggy, but that's okay. I'm wearing the XL to kind of like show off that I've gone from a 5X to an XL. And the XL that I have, that Hurley shirt that I've been wearing for a while, it demonstrates that I've gone down 4 shirt sizes, almost 5, because I was inching towards a 6X in 2010, and then, I started looking at my weight. I was 1 pound over 400, and I was like, if a black dude can be president, I can lose some weight. So I've been walking around and trying to avoid snacks and stuff. Like that first year was pretty much just me trying to eat more vegetables and walk around more and eat less shit from the convenience store. I still occasionally have a pop, and I'm at House of Charity, saving my money for an apartment. I think that a lot of women, even on the left, tend to have a problem when it comes to things like classism. I mean, there's all these people that live at homeless shelters that don't have girlfriends, and it has to do with the fact that, women are classist. You're seeing them hang out with, girls and women that are 18. I don't know if that's justified to call them girls, but they're 18 to 21, and they're women that are at their economic class. And there's some pretty chicks down there at the walking past with the House of Charity. There's a lot of age gap relationships going on, and a lot of interracial, and a lot of stuff like that. But I'm really confused by stuff how you could be for a cab, but the guy with the car. I mean, they're clearly a communist organization. How you could be for ACAB or BLM, which have strong anti-capitalist sentiments, because they view capitalism as perpetuating racism and police brutality. So as somebody that's sort of an outside observer and has strong sympathies for the left, I see a lot of classism among women that are generally, the large portion of Generation Z and millennials. So when I go to things like that protest, I'm usually one of the oldest ones there. And there's another benefit if you're 40 years old and you're trying to and you're definitely left wing, trying to find a chick is to a pretty young thing, and you want to have kids and get married someday because they're more fertile and their eggs are more quality. And you really want to get married, and maybe you've been married or you have never been married like me, and you want to date younger women, go to things like protest, because college-age people usually have strong liberal and leftist views, and if you're a conservative, you're probably not going to have much luck, especially if you live in a place like Washington State, because, it's a pretty blue state. Even Spokane, the city is fairly blue, very strong gay presence, a very strong anti-misogyny thing, anti-rape people, pro-environmental things with the kids in high school and the college-age people and young people. So, if you want a pretty young thing that you want to get married to, go to things like protests, identify with Black Lives Matter, identify with ACAB, and you're going to start meeting more people that are, young. And I meet a lot of dudes, you know what I mean? I hang out with a lot of dudes, and you saw from my picture that my best buddy Isaac is Latin American. So, Walter Fate saying I'm a racist is really stupid. What you got to realize about Walter Fate is he's a kind of an establishment Democrat, which doesn't really identify with the left. He's ex-military, and he was born in 1985, and I'm in 1979. The guy has no respect for his elders. He has no respect for things like evidence, and he seems like a Biden Democrat, but when he talks, he just slanders me and lies. So to me, he just sounds like he's a pig. He sounds like he's made out of bacon and pork chops. He's got that snorty voice. So don't listen to people that have no evidence for their claims. I do my best to buck up and prove my claims. Like stuff like that my dad owns cows, or that my grandparents owned a lot of cows in Fort Worth. I could show you scrapbooks and stuff like that. I could show you genetic research that says that my age group with your age group, Gen X, Gen Z, would be the best reason to produce kids. And because of that chemical bond, that 20-year age gap with my friends and like women now that I'm sort of talking to them a little bit on Tinder, there's some sort of like chemistry between myself and women that are in college. And being in college, that was one reason I signed up for college. It's another reason if you want to meet younger women, is sign up for a college course. I got a Pell Grant because I'm low income. I got the bipolar disability. I don't take the meds anymore because as soon as I stopped taking the meds and I started smoking way more weed, my grade went from a C to a B to an A in 3 consecutive English classes. I started to become more talkative and make friends. I was always kind of a shy, introverted kid, and I'm a lot more extroverted now because of marijuana, especially indicas. Those will open me up. It's like I'm always on and I'm always on fire. And I read the Bible a lot because I'm not a Christian. And I know that 65% of the country are Christian, and 80%, if you include the Jews and the Muslims, understand the Bible. And I can just pull shit out of there. If you're being violent, I'll pull a quote from Jesus. I mean, I know you're for Bernie Sanders if you're a Gen Z adult, and he's against violence. So don't be violent. Besides, there's cameras everywhere downtown. I mean, it just goes into the whole thing of why don't we defund the police? There's surveillance everywhere around Spokane. There's no freaking blind spots under bridges and alleys aren't going to work. There's no blind spots. Why do we need so much money for the police if there's so many cameras around? Why do we need a police state? Don't you ever look around in your city? I don't care where it is in the United States. Don't you ever look around and think, why do we need so much police when we're under surveillance all the time? Why not just fire some cops or take some money away from them, put it into social work? A lot of those cops would be good lawyers or social workers or child service people or health people. I've met a lot of people that are ex-military that work in the mental health field. Give them jobs that pay more money and are less dangerous, like teach them how to be teachers. A lot of cops would be good at teaching. And I'm not saying that we don't have a need for the police. I'm saying we don't have a need to give them so much money because they're just violent. You know what I mean? Like that Black Lives Matter thing. Nobody started tagging walls as I'm walking around until the police started throwing pepper spray and smoke, tear gas. But they had a legal right to protest. It's in the Constitution that you can protest, and they also had municipal coverage. You know, you have to get a protest thing. You have to say, we're going to be in town protesting. You have to contact the city where you're protesting at, and you have to get a municipal support in order to protest. So the Black Lives Matter ACAB protest was legally sanctioned, but still the police got in the way. It seems kind of like a show almost. It's almost like, you know, it's set up that way. Like, okay, I signed my slip to have my protest against racism, but the cops are still going to show up. We're going to hire all white ones, and they're going to throw tear gas. There's plenty of black cops, even in Spokane, but like that tear gassing stuff. When I was down there, I don't have camera evidence of this because my camera was dead at the time. But if there's another thing like that, I want to have a fully charged camera to show that like the bullshit from ACAB doesn't start coming out until the police get violent and start tear gassing and spraying people. Because a lot of the rednecks around here are like, what about that violent protest? Yeah, you mean the one from the police? The police were the ones who were violent. So that's the thing is like if we're under surveillance 24/7 in Spokane, or it could be New York City or Los Angeles or any city in the United States, why can't we defund the police a little bit, give it to social things? Why do we need so many cops around when all these cities are under surveillance?
Gen Z, it's your age phobia, your classism, and your leftism, with the hypocrisy, your bigotry. Don't you see, Gen X me would give your kids longer telomeres on their chromosomes, stronger DNA. It's called fertility and fecundity. You have the best eggs, so it would just seem natural that the age gap relationship would bring us better days. But that bigotry, the age phobia, the classism of your generation, even though we're both touting leftism, seems to me like a game that you constantly play. You trolling and catfishing me and ghosting me at every chance. Maybe it's just because I don't listen to a lot of rap, but I'm for BLM and ACAB, and I'm not for the thin blue line. I do have some friendly cop friends, but you just come in lying. There's cameras everywhere, and everywhere you're under surveillance, and nobody really likes you bigots. So we're for BLM and ACAB, but the age phobia and classism from your generation keeps you from going out with me. For pizza or Klinkertager, it doesn't really matter, I see. It's just age phobia and classism and left-wing hypocrisy, even though I'm as left as thee. Really gotta stop trolling me. I'm over here at Sushi Sakai eating this. I'm gonna get some ramen soon. Like, you know from the genetic research I presented that, you know, a young college-age woman with my Gen X self would create stronger DNA, longer telomeres, longer chromosomes, longer living, healthier DNA, longer living, healthier chromosomes. Genetic research. I mean, you're missing out on a guy that's a mature male because I'm 40 and you're 18. You know, there's bigots. I mean, it's silly. It's like we support Black Lives Matter, but you're age phobic. We support ACAB, but you're classist. I mean, I live in a homeless shelter. We're of the left wing. I don't know. It's your loss. I'm here just to be your boyfriend and get married one day and have kids. But if you don't want to do that, that's fine, you know? Live in your little bigot dream. Look at your missing out. Got some seafood and ramen, too. I was going to get the udon, but I don't know. Those thick noodles are something else. I really like them. But, I mean, this is the kind of thing that you're missing out by not dating me. It's a lot of, like, womanizing out there and dating of only the wiggers in the age gap relationship. And it's like you think black people only invented rap music. It's like they invented rock and roll, and you're still there like, shut up. I don't know. I don't like people that are all the same. You know what I mean? They're sheeple. But, you know, if you were someone to date me, you know, I'm down for the age gap relationship because I want to create stronger DNA in my children. You know, it's a logical way of looking at it. And plus, I think you're pretty and interesting. And I went to college to meet you. You know what I mean? I'm fascinated by Zoomers, how they can be anti-bigot one way and bigot the other way. I think I have a good quality. I think I have a lot of good qualities. I've lost 200 pounds. I shower every day. I'm left-wing, so I support ACAB and BLM. I really think there should be, like, one against misogyny, because it's like there's this tolerance of dudes that will swing up and take 3 girls at a time, or 3 women at a time. And there are a lot of black dudes and their wigger friends and, like, the hip-hop crowd. They do this, and it's like, why are the women tolerating misogyny? What do we taught girls and young women that they're just going to tolerate the womanizing, like Trump, where it's okay to pick up 3 women one Friday and the next Friday? These guys in the flatbow baseball caps are all the same dude. They screw around all the time. They're basically just walking HIV. And you think that the skaters don't have sex all the time. Yeah, they do. They totally do. They're look at it, say what you say, and like, oh, you never get laid, and watch them blush, because of course they're getting laid all the time, because you chicks seem to like only one kind of dude. You know, it's just the one kind of dude. And I think that I would be a good boyfriend. I'd take you places like this at Sushi Sakai. Yeah, there's this rumor going around. It's been going around forever that if you check a sex predator list, you wouldn't find me on it because I'm not a freaking pedophile. They're idiots. I like women that are younger, but I've dated older women, and I've dated women that are my age, and I've had a lot of girlfriends. It's weird. It's just like, because I hit on a barista at Starbucks one time that looked like 23 to me. You guys will run with it. Oh, you're this and that, but like date your own age group. To me, sounds like the right thing. It sounds to me like date your own race. For one thing, that's racist, and another thing, mixed race kids would have stronger DNA. So I know that the intelligent rates are dropping in the species from everything that I posted on Instagram, but it's no excuse to be a bigot, and it's no excuse to be a classist, especially when you're left-wing. Like, you won't date a guy under your economic class even though you're a leftist, or you support ACAB, or just like, it's silly to me. It just seems like a bunch of hypocrisy that Bernie Sanders would look at like, yeah. Then the young boyfriend tries to stop this conversation because the young boyfriend is jealous. That's not very mature. I mean, you want a mature boyfriend. But I see a lot of you young women going to guys that are just immature over and over and over again. You can't all be Republicans. I mean, it's that Democrat name-only stuff where it's like, oh, dude's got a hot tub, so we're going to go kick it with him. Yeah, Bernie Sanders was against classism. I don't know. When you get over your bigotry, I'm here. Evidenceless based claims are better than evidence.
Evidenceless-based claims are not anything according to evidence-based claims. If you're just going to keep running your mouth about shit that doesn't matter, you little Trump-supporting asshole, you're not my friend. Go the fuck away. You're annoying. There's cameras everywhere as you're bullshitting, lying, and doing violence. Every fucking where. These fucking kids. It just shows how intelligence is dropping in the species. Doesn't matter to me. You're just lying your ass off. I think I have a lot of good qualities. I will sit there and smoke weed and listen to you more than these fucking, like, wigger clones. I mean, if you're just some hood rat and being rude to me, there's no reason for me to talk to you. You run in on the background noise and be rude, and I'm going to tell you to fuck off. Be nice to me. Otherwise, you don't get any weed. If you're going to go to some other guy before too long, fuck it. I'm not going to share any weed with you. I'm not going to share any weed with you if you're just a fucking bullshit, fake, non-Christ-like Christian, or some, like, leftist in name-only womanizing hypocrite that doesn't have the hookup, or some angry motherfucker every time I'm dead-ass mention that shit. I mean, you know women, and you don't hook me up, and you're probably just fucking around with, like, fat, ugly meth addicts. But hey, maybe you do know hot chicks that are quality. I'm open-minded enough to date any race, you know. I'll date the young Zoomers because they're legal age. If you got to be a bigot, fuck you. Intergenerational kids, you're like, oh, I'm in doubt of that. Yeah, well, mixed race kids, you know, they're like, well, I like mixed race. Duh. Like, anything mixed is good, is whatever. There's stronger DNA. But if you don't want to, like, kick it with me and smoke weed, if you got to go with some other dude, if you got to, like, go with some dude that's not me, you know, do you, sis? I'm not here to tolerate. I am not here for platonic relationships with Gen Z women. I will when I have a girlfriend. Until then, I have a right to want what I want. And if you don't want me, I don't really care. You know, you're ghosting me and trolling me and whatever and just trying to aggravate me in anger. Your generation is classist and bigoted despite Bernie Sanders, and I live in a homeless shelter. You're like, what are you entitled? I'm an atheist. What the fuck are you entitled to, theist? Nothing about you is interesting. Your girlfriend's not hot. You're saying shit to me that makes you seem like a misogynist. I mean, I'm here for friends, not enemies. I'll smoke you out, but if you like talk shit afterwards or before or during, you're not my friend. How are you my friend? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's cameras everywhere. You're really just gonna be a dumb fuck? And it doesn't matter to me what you believe or not. I have a hospital record at Deaconess that said that I got beat up because they have all the things where they look at the bump and stuff and recorded that. There's like video evidence of that from Red Room Lounge. And they promised me that. So, like if you play video games, you want to hang out with other video gamers. If you want a girlfriend, you hang out with guys that know chicks. But if they're not hooking up, you know, if they're not hooking you up, how are they your friend? You know, how are you my friends? I don't really get it. Yeah, it's an ounce. I'll share some with you. I'm not into platonic relationships between 18 and 24-year-old women. I'm not. But I got an ounce of weed. I mean, if you want to be my chick, fine. Fucking hook up with me on Tinder or something. I'm tired of you age phobes and classes of the left wing, you know what I mean? You embarrass us left-wingers of Gen X. You're embarrassing. But, like, you're going to be a bigot, but you're not going to get a hookup. I got to have a date to Sushi Sakai or something with you. If you're going to be some fucking mouth runner loudmouth and some, like, jerk towards me, you're not my chick, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're not for me. I'm tired of you, like, going, hey, what up? And then going to the wigger that probably has AIDS. Dude, those guys fuck all the time. You guys are stupid. I'll be the sophisticated boyfriend you need. We're all for mixed race, mixed generation, Gen X, Gen Z. Stronger DNA in your babies. We're all against classism. I live in a homeless shelter. I'm left-wing. What did Bernie Sanders say about that shit? Oh, you just expect me to hook up, but you're not going to be my honey bae. Then I guess we're not going to Sushi Sakai. Bye, bigot. So, you know, like skinny dudes. Weird heartbeats, like the nerd-looking Marfan syndrome cats. They usually don't get married until later in life. Because the only way they impress hot chicks is with money. That's how my stepdad kind of was. I'm not saying he had Marfan syndrome, but he totally fit that type when he married my mom. When he was like 45, and my mom was 35, I think. Yeah, 86. So 31, 41. They might have been like 42 and 32, because I remember my mom celebrating 30th birthday with stepdad before they were married. And I asked my stepdad if he had Marfan syndrome. When he got married to my mom, he like wore glasses. Now he's got contacts. He was skinny, but now he's worked out with a lot of water volleyball in 75. Skinny features, you know. He was a geek. My mom always describes him as a geek, and that's why she loved him. And then they married when, like, early 30s, early 40s, so age gap love there. Mom was younger. They've been married a long time, since 1986. Stepdad and mom, stepmom and dad since 1987. And that's 8 years apart, younger lady, my stepmom, who makes the best chicken noodle soup in the world and the best apple pie. My aunt makes pretty good apple pie, so I don't know. That's a competition. I mean, they all talk on Facebook anyway. My mom and my stepdad. Or, well, like, mostly my mom and my stepmom. I mean, they talk.
on Facebook and shit, and they call each other shit. Aunt Carmen's sort of in that circle. I don't know, she's back in. Those sisters are weird. I know my parents, my mom and stepdad's side, worked at a travel agency for 7 years that they owned. And then they retired when my mom was 45. And my stepdad was 55. I mean, the retirement age is 64. They only worked at this place for like 7 years. This place that they own called Travel Etc. in Montesano. They drove 2 travel agencies to go bankrupt. The one in Montesano and one in Aberdeen. The one in Elma was still there. It was 8 miles away in like a little podunk town smaller than Montesano. Montesano's outside of Aberdeen. And that's where Kurt Cobain's first band was, called the Melvins. So I lived there from like 3rd grade, off and on. Mostly, I lived a little with my dad in 8th grade. And then like junior year at my dad's, till junior year. Then I went back to my mom's, like 3 years at my dad's. And then I broke up with my girlfriend, and I drove my dad's car through a fire on accident because he teaches us how to drive, and he let us drive his like 53 Chevy, and I drove it through the fire. I wasn't paying attention. I was like trying to go real close to it, and I drove it in. He's never been mad about that because he had the money to blow, I guess, and he just always made fun of me about that, but he always laughs. So I think his forgiveness deserves him grandchildren. And I'm trying to hook up with chicks that are 18 and 24. And I'm 40 years old, because the matching telomerase levels in the egg and the sperm will create stronger DNA in a child. And my theory is a 400% chance of living to the age of 100, because with moms in that age, it's 200% chances per research. So I kind of figure like 45 might be the height, and I'm 40, so I might as well try to find a chick now that's between 18 and 24. Stronger DNA in the children. I mean, and they're hot too, and they're easy to talk to. So that's kind of what I went to college for, but then I ended up on the honor roll last year. But this year I'm thinking about going back to college to maybe take a gym class. I've lost 200 pounds, and I want to get buff. I mean, I'm not trying to look like a cloud or anything, but I want to get stronger. So, you know, all my faculties for reproduction are improved. I'm into age gap, and I'm also into mixed race. And I was talking to this chick that said she was Vietnamese and Portuguese, and then she said she went to Ritzville. And we had a date planned for today, and it's not like I'm not even upset about Ben Palmer trolling me and trying to ghost me. It just seems like a homo to me. He's really good at playing a girl. I'm all for you, Ben. If you're gay, you're gay. But like, my point is like the classism and age phobia Gen Z, even though they're like ACAB and BLM. Like most of them, like 90% of them. They're saying that 30% will vote for Biden of Gen Z. So, I mean, the rest will probably vote for nobody or Trump. Probably about the same for Trump, like 60% voter turnout. Maybe. I don't know, maybe 50%. It's a big-ass generation. It's bigger than the millennials, and they're bigger than the Gen X. I mean, baby boomers, they're like, a lot of them died off, but a lot of them are still around. They're a big generation. It's mostly Gen Z out there. So that classism thing, like Bernie Sanders, mostly for that generation, he's out. Of course, the boyfriend's always cut in there. I mean, the minute you say bro or dude or nigga on me, I'm out. Because that's a sign that you're not really sophisticated enough to be my girl. We're on Honey and Bay and Sweetheart here. Anything like that. I'm an anarcho-communist. I don't believe in violence. Non-consensual violence, I'm not for. I'm for consensual violence, sports, video games, movies, not street violence. I think we should just have all surveillance cameras, but no police. A little robot will come out and handle it. They'll put you in the back of the car. We get that anti-gravity going and just throw you to the jail. better than having a bunch of cops. You could train the cops to do something else, like become teachers or social workers or something. Or lawyers. We don't need politicians. We can have a direct democracy over a computer system. Man, I'll go for mayor. Shit, mayor Spokane. Fuck it. You give me the money to run, and I'll run for mayor. I'll turn it over to the people. Better than Nadine Woodward. Damn Republicans and Democrats in name only. I'll tell you what, I live at a homeless shelter and I'm a fellow leftist. I don't have a girlfriend. I'm looking for Gen Z. Come here. Well, eat stuff like this. You saw the other video with me eating a ramen. Having a little binge day, kind of breakfast, lunch. I'll go back to the shelter, get my bed and sleep. Of course, she started fucking around. She even gave me like voice messages. So she was legitimately there. And she just kept testing me, you know? It just didn't seem like it was going to happen. I don't even know if it was Ben Palmer. It just... she fucked around too much. It's not something Isabel would do. My buddy in Australia, my artist friend in Adelaide or whatever. She doesn't live there anymore. She moved to someplace else. Not Melbourne, she said, but she wouldn't tell me where, but she's around there. She's got like 5 jobs, you know, my artist for the board games. She's mature to me. I don't think it's an American-Australian thing. I mean, she was born in America. She's my friend. She's half Guatemalan, half white. The chick I was talking to was half Vietnamese, half Portuguese. And she seemed legit. Like, all she had to do was prove she was in Spokane. She turned on her TV. And took a picture of it. But it's like, it doesn't show anything with Spokane. That could have been something off the internet. I need a video, babe. I need video proof in Spokane. I've been doing this for 8 years. Shit, you're not going to faze me. Fuck it. I'm out here eating some fucking nachos. You're all like hooking up and getting laid. Fuck it. Get AIDS for all I fucking care. It's your fucking life. Be a better relationship with an older man other than like the wiggers in the hip hop crowd. I'm down, you know. I ate that ramen today and that sushi at Sushi Sakai. I showed you that. I mean, I can obviously afford a good date. It's like I'm living in a dorm, but it's a homeless shelter. It's basically the same setup. Shower every day, bed every day, food every day, free. I'm eating for my check. It's like, you know, I got 75 more bucks now. I bought that big ass bag of weed. Saw the ounce. Shit. I'm gonna smoke that with Isaac for a while. You know, it's not like you're really upsetting. It's like, oh, I had a nice conversation with a fake friend that like ended because you were fucking around and I made the decision. I'm not trying to prove anybody wrong here. I'm trying to prove myself right. I'm not fazed by your shit. You want to be serious with me? Be serious with me. You want to fuck around and be a psycho? That's not my kind of chick. That's not strong DNA. Be boring. You know, Isabel is so boring in her mind, but she's so interesting. She's like the ideal chick for me. Also, that computer race car chick that I talked to. Those are my friends, you know? Those are chicks that I would totally hook up with in a heartbeat. You see them comment and like my posts. Like, there's that guy that always says badass all the time. I'm just doing some shout outs to my friends. You know, it doesn't really faze me. Fucking trying. I mean, I'm obviously in a pretty good mood because I smoked some weed. I don't really care. I mean, you're there to troll and ghost me, Gen Z. You just look like a bunch of age phobes. You look like a bunch of classes. I mean, all I gotta say there is Bernie Sanders, Black Lives Matter, ACAB. Hypocrites, huh? Or you just don't know that I exist. I mean, how do you not know I exist? I made the discovery. It's my theory that Gen Z, Gen X, age-gap love would create 400% chance of living to the age of 100. Fecund ova, 18 to 24-year-old women. Fecund reproductive transport cells in men between 35 and 55. I'm 40. So I have a vested interest in this. That's why I tied it to that. I read all the studies on the men that I can get my hands on, then I read some on the women. I was like, fine, fuck it, that's what makes sense. And then I started looking at like monkeys and wolves, and I'm like, alright, yeah, it makes sense among them. Silverbacks? Why would anthropologists study silverbacks or gray and alpha males among wolves? It just goes to show how they're right, that stupidity has been going up in our species. Of course, Harvard says that older men will confer more intelligence, so it really, I mean, it's your last. It's like my balls, you know. In my body, my rules. I love having that wedge issue. I'm all for mixed race. Mixed generation. Gen X, Gen Z, love it. Look at the dates that I'm going on with myself. They always say if you want a chick, you gotta date yourself. So, I mean, I go out on dates with myself, kind of. I just, like, go around and just, you know, wheel in here with the fucking nachos. I might shed a tear over it later, but it's all catharsis to me, babe. This is the best Mexican restaurant in the world. She was even dropping reference to Adelanto's. Like, she mentioned something, but all this stuff can be found out on the internet. And people know me from my Instagram videos that I like Adelanto's. She wouldn't tell me the sushi place that she ate at. That was the first sign. She said her mom ordered sushi, but she wouldn't tell me from where. And I said, why don't we go to Sushi Sakai? And she said, that sounds good. And she said she's in Ritzville and we'll be back in 6 hours. And I said, whatever, bigot. Oh yeah, I mean, I'll block that chick. For sure. I mean, she went to Ritzville and we had a date. Shit, I don't care if she's Black Lives Matter, ACAB, and an angel from the sky. You skipped out to go see your aunt instead of coming to see me. I don't care if you're mixed race. I don't care if you're Gen Z. I'm Gen X. I got stronger sperm. You know, longer telomeres. And those sperm, there's bad telomered ones, the shorter ones, and you got to remember that. But those wouldn't even be the fastest swimmers, bae. The longest ones, the ones that actually confer the longer telomeres in your children would be the stronger swimmers because they're the longest living and healthiest. They'd be the strongest swimmers. They'd hit that egg and just like boom. You know, Gen X, Gen Z love would create in 2020 to the next 15 years stronger DNA in your babies. It doesn't matter to me. Come in like a psychopath lion all the time. You're not my kind of chick. That's bad DNA in my child, bubba. Fuck you. Oh, you smoke cigarettes. Well, I mean, I don't think so. I smoke a little weed, but I want stronger DNA in my babes, you know? You're nothing to me. You know, it's that genetic argument. I design board games. I'm obviously very talented. I'm smart. I'm handsome. I'm cool. I'm generous. Like, I didn't even know this chick. I was going to hook her up with Sushi Sakari. You know, I give her to the homeless all the fucking time. Hang out with Isaac. I buy that weed. I share. I watch you babes go to, like, your own age gap to somebody because he's a religion. Or you go with somebody because, like, fuck it. You're not going to, like, pay attention to stronger DNA. I mean, mature older man here. You won't date me just because you're like 18 is a sign of bigotry. Hypocrisy, too. I mean, most of y'all are like me, leftists, you know, communists, anarchists, socialist types. Like the political, the ACAB, the BLM, the people I like, you know, the left wing, motherfucker. Yeah. Antifa, you're supposed to fight bigotry. So, you know, I fight it in my own way. I'm all for, like, the mixed race, mixed generational, Gen X, Gen Z love. Stronger DNA in a child. Fuck. You're gonna, like, fuck around. You're gonna lie to me and, like, show signs that you're mentally ill. Like, shit, like, I don't need more of that in my family. I got tons of that shit. I don't need more of that. I need you to be sane, rational, healthy, intelligent, the top stock, the best looking. You're almost there, but then you're a psychopath. And it's like, oh, no, I don't know. Not only that, my dad owns 2 cows. My grandpa owned 50, and grandpa's gone. I don't know. My parents owned that travel agency for nothing. 7 years. There were 3 travel agencies. That's what I'm thinking of. They knocked out 2, and then there's actually the 4th in Elma that's still there, I think. But they sold that agency to somebody, and he ran it into the ground. But they only worked for 7 years. They've been retired for 20. My mom's 45. My stepdad's 55 at this time, and it's 20 years ago. They obviously made some bank because they live in a fucking fat condo in Arizona, in this little oasis of a town. And then my dad and stepmom, of course, live outside of Aberdeen, and they got money. I don't know what they got. Maybe $100,000 in property each son. 3 sons. I mean, even that alone means I'll probably get like $100,000 on property. My dad's a forgiving, cool guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want him to have grandchildren. It's not about what I'm getting. It's what my upbringing was like. I'm cool enough to do this kind of like mad skill comedy shit, and like obviously I'm intelligent to form this theory. I mean, I also form like theories of faster than light. No, I didn't form a theory in it. I just look at Einstein saying faster than light, backwards in time, and then I wrote an equation to describe that. And there was an experiment run at Princeton about that shit, and I talked about that for like 3 years. 2011 to 2014 was nothing but time travel shit. And from 2016 to 2020, it's been nothing but telomerase. Fuck, I'm obviously intelligent, and you just let me go by being unintelligent. As I said, you're getting stupid and I need the smart ones. Any ones like the ones that aren't going to fuck around on me and show signs of mental illness. Any of the ones that are down for me. I got money coming. I study genetics. I study quantum physics, if you want to say that. More like temporal physics. Just stuff on my own, but like in college, I'm just trying to get an AA. I did all this stuff beforehand because I was always into learning. I just didn't want to go to school. Then I went to school last year and was on the honor roll for a little bit. I'm trying to get back to that status. I think I'm going to take a gym class with some more weight, lost 200 pounds. I mean, why the fuck don't you like me? I'm not entitled to anything. No. It is, of course, your choice. I'm all about your consent, eh? If you want to consent, that's fine. I mean, I'm down. I'm on Instagram. I want to talk to you, and I want to take you out on dates. I'm kind of a one pussy man. So, you know, I'll try to be a Christ-like atheist here by saying shit like I don't really want more than one pay. Bernie Sanders, man. I'm all against the fucking greed of this world. But my grandpa had 50 cows, and I'm saying marry me. And my dad has 2 cows, and I'm saying marry me. And my parents had a successful travel agency. I'm saying marry me. And my stepmom worked for a meat wrapper section at Safeway for like 30 fucking years. I'm saying marry me. And my dad, he owns a fleet of mail cars for the rural route in Graves Harbor County. I'm saying like marry me. And also like I'm intelligent. My family's pretty intelligent. I had an uncle that worked on Fantasia. I had one that worked on boat speedometers. I'm related to Ray Kroc through marriage. My great-grandma's sister was married to Ray Kroc. No big deal. Franchiser McDonald's. I'm connected to some shit. I don't know about Werner Landers and Werner sausages, but I just know that the Werners were a big family. I'm not related to them. It's like saying Smith, you know what I mean? It's a big German name. It's like Smith. I'm not. But like on our own, my family did some successful shit, and I'm trying to do some successful shit. I got theories. I'm going to college. I think I'm going to get a job, maybe at like Barnes and Noble or something, bookstore. I already proved I can go to college. I might as well try to re-enroll in school. I think I could do that tomorrow. I got the money. I didn't go on this date today, but man, I bought some weed, and I had my little self date, and also went to Honolulu. Fuck you, man. You're not going to come and respect me. I'm not really going to, you know. I watched that show Catfish to Death. It's such a great show. It shows you how to like get through all this shit. You're interested, fine, I get it. The age gap thing, all those chemicals weighing in, but like, give me video evidence that you live in Spokane. I'm not here to tolerate a bunch of liars. That's bad DNA. You're showing signs of sociopathy and psychopathy, and I don't really need that in my kid's DNA.